Elon Musk versus Jeff Bezos. The feud you never knew about. Imagine being at the top of the world, richer than entire nations, more powerful than most world leaders. Now imagine sharing that space with someone you absolutely cannot stand. This is the story of Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, two of the richest men alive, locked in a silent, bitter war that has lasted decades. But what if I told you their feud goes far beyond rockets and tech? What if their rivalry took a dark, personal turn? The beginning of a billionaire battle. It all started in the early 2000s. Both men had already changed the world. Jeff Bezos had built Amazon into a retail empire, and Elon Musk was revolutionizing online payments with PayPal. But both men had bigger dreams. They wanted the stars. When Elon founded SpaceX in 2002, Bezos was watching. A few years later, he launched Blue Origin, his own private space company. On the surface, it seemed like friendly competition. Behind the scenes, it was war. In 2004, they met for dinner. Just two billionaires talking about space. But that night ended in frustration. Elon later said Bezos had no idea what he was doing in space travel. Bezos, he stayed quiet, but insiders say he left that dinner with one thought: I'll prove him wrong. The space race turns personal. Fast forward to 2013. NASA was leasing launch pads to private companies. SpaceX applied, but suddenly, Blue Origin filed a complaint to block them. Bezos wasn't just competing. He was actively trying to stop Elon's progress. Elon fired back, calling it a phony blocking tactic. And when Blue Origin later tried to patent a key landing technology, SpaceX took them to court and won. Bezos lost, but he wasn't done. The same year, Bezos made a strategic move no one saw coming. He bought the Washington Post. Officially, it was just a business decision. But some analysts believed Bezos was preparing for a media-driven power play. Meanwhile, Elon's influence on social media was growing, and his tweets were shaping markets overnight. It was no longer just about space. It was about controlling the narrative. The secret moves no one saw coming. What the world didn't see was how both men started moving beyond business. Bezos made his move first. He started hiring top engineers, Elon's engineers. Slowly, quietly, Blue Origin began poaching some of SpaceX's best minds. To Bezos, this was just business. To Elon, it was war. Then, in 2018, something bizarre happened. SpaceX was launching a Falcon Heavy rocket. Everything was going smoothly until Bezos appeared at the Kennedy Space Center, unannounced. No one knew why he was there. Some say he was scouting. Others, that he wanted to watch SpaceX fail. The rocket launched. It was a success. But Elon, he didn't forget. Meanwhile, reports surfaced that Bezos was quietly lobbying for government contracts that could disadvantage SpaceX. Behind the scenes, the tension was reaching new heights. When things get personal. By 2021, things were getting ugly. SpaceX and Blue Origin were both fighting for a NASA contract to land astronauts on the moon. The winner? SpaceX. Bezos was furious. He sued NASA. Yes, a billionaire sued a space agency because he lost. Elon laughed it off in public, mocking Bezos on Twitter. But behind the scenes, he was paranoid. Sources say Elon began monitoring Blue Origin's activities more closely than ever. Then came the final blow. Bezos made an offer to Tesla's biggest battery supplier. A deal so good, it threatened to slow Tesla's production. Elon found out. Within days, he flew to the supplier's headquarters in person. Whatever he said, it worked. Bezos' deal fell through. But Bezos wasn't the only one making moves. Around this time, leaked reports suggested that SpaceX had been exploring ways to create a low-orbit satellite network that could potentially disrupt Amazon's internet services. Coincidence? Maybe. But to Bezos, it looked like a calculated attack. The final showdown? So, where does that leave them today? Still at war. SpaceX dominates space travel, but Blue Origin keeps pushing forward. Amazon is a trillion-dollar giant, but Tesla is rewriting the future of energy and transportation. And Elon, he still publicly mocks Bezos every chance he gets. But here's the real question. Is this just business? Or is this personal? Some say one final move is coming. Something big. Something that could change the course of this rivalry forever. Rumors are swirling that Bezos is investing in a next-generation AI technology, something that could challenge Musk's Neuralink project. Others whisper that Musk is preparing an Amazon competitor, one that could strike Bezos where it hurts most. And then there's the biggest theory of all. What if one of them is planning a move so drastic it could shake the entire industry? A new era of competition. It's not just about rockets and AI anymore. Their rivalry is now spilling into everything. Bezos' plans for a space colony versus Musk's dream of a Mars civilization. Musk's push for fully autonomous robots versus Bezos' secret AI lab working on next-gen automation. The battle for global internet control. Starlink versus Amazon's Project Kuiper. Both men are billionaires. Both have endless resources, and both are obsessed with winning. But in this war of egos and empires, only one can truly come out on top. So what do you think? Who will win in the end? Elon, Jeff, and Mark. The last great gamble. Imagine this. 3 tech titans, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and Mark Zuckerberg, have spent years locked in competition. The space race, the battle for AI dominance. Trillion-dollar empires. Together, they have reshaped the world. But what if one day they decided to put their rivalry aside and work together? Sounds impossible? Well, this is the story of that impossible moment. The meeting. It all started with a secret invitation from Mark Zuckerberg. The 3 men were busier than ever, but this meeting was too intriguing to ignore. It wasn't just a business pitch. It was an opportunity to make history. They met in a secluded private villa. Across the table sat Elon Musk, the visionary determined to take humanity to Mars. Beside him, Jeff Bezos, the mastermind behind the largest e-commerce and tech empire on Earth. And across from them, Mark Zuckerberg, the man who had woven the digital web that connected the world. Mark leaned forward, a slight smirk on his face. We've spent years fighting each other. But why? Wasn't our goal always the same? To change the world? If we joined forces, we could accomplish the impossible. Elon raised an eyebrow. Is this a joke? Jeff chuckled. I don't buy it, Mark. But go on, entertain me. Mark took a deep breath, then pulled something from his pocket. A microchip. He placed it on the table. This is a prototype that connects the human brain directly to AI. Imagine it. Machines controlled by thought alone, a new kind of internet, a limitless human mind. But I can't do it alone. Elon, you have Neuralink. Jeff, you have the infrastructure and supply chain. If we combine our strengths, we can rebuild the future. Elon picked up the chip, examining it closely. Interesting. Jeff narrowed his eyes. And how many billions will this cost me? Mark leaned back in his chair. Money isn't the issue. We all have more than enough. The real question is, do you have the vision? For the first time in years, they weren't rivals. They were allies. The birth of Project Elysium. Together, they launched Project Elysium, a radical attempt to merge human consciousness with artificial intelligence. Elon brought in Neuralink's top scientists. Jeff integrated Amazon's vast cloud computing and logistics power. Mark wove Meta's virtual reality and data intelligence into the project. It was a trillion-dollar experiment that could redefine humanity itself. But nothing this big would come without conflict. The cracks begin to show. As the project progressed, old rivalries resurfaced. Elon never fully trusted Mark. "What's your angle, Mark? Do you want to trap people in a digital prison?" Mark scoffed. "Oh, the irony. The man who wants to build colonies on Mars is worried about control." Jeff, ever the businessman, was focused on the bottom line. He found out about a secret meeting between Elon and Mark. Furious, he stormed into the lab. "You're cutting me out, aren't you? Once the technology is perfected, you won't need me anymore." Elon slammed his hand on the table. "Relax, Jeff. We're all in this together." But Jeff's glare was sharp. "No, Elon, you don't want a better world. You want your world." Project Elysium was on the brink of collapse. Egos had grown bigger than the mission. The downfall. Then the disaster struck. One night, Mark leaked classified project documents. The media exploded. Headlines read, "Elon, Jeff, and Mark's secret plan to control human minds? New world order incoming." Governments panicked. Public backlash was immediate. Project Elysium was shut down overnight. The three billionaires, once united, became enemies once more. The unexpected ending. But here's the twist. Failure changed them. In one final meeting, Elon sighed, shaking his head. "We lost our way. We wanted to push humanity forward, but we ended up fighting each other." Jeff exhaled deeply. "We won't make that mistake again. But maybe we don't have to be enemies." Mark smirked. "Competition is good, but a war? That was unnecessary." For the first time, they saw each other as something more than rivals. Maybe they'd never work on another project together, but from that moment on, they were no longer enemies. Sometimes, the greatest enemies can become the closest allies. Maybe real power lies not in domination, but in learning to work together. Love stories like this? Subscribe to exclusive stories for more shocking rivalries, hidden secrets, and the untold history of billionaires. More is coming soon.